Cyclonus and his armada. I love both of these figures. I think they're both really good, but one of them is well over 10 years old. So it's time to do an old versus new on the Universe Cyclonus, this being the Reveal the Shield redeco in the actual show accurate colors, compared to Kingdom Cyclonus. Kingdom Cyclonus, to put it briefly, is perhaps one of the most perfect Voyager-class figures Hasbro's ever produced. I know it's a little bit of a statement, a little bit of a bold statement, but hear me out. He's perfect. There is nothing wrong with him. There's nothing. I got nothing. I got nothing, man. He is one of the best figures Hasbro has put out in a long time. And that is coming from someone who has thought that we are living in the golden age of Transformers collecting, where we are literally living in the best years, okay? We're getting Omega Supreme, we're getting Scorponok, we're finally getting Runamuck and Runabout, we're getting a new Galvatron and the Galvatron gang, and like, we're getting all the combiners, and we're getting like everything we've ever asked for. They are spoiling us, and this thing is great, but we cannot forget that this still is one of the very best deluxe class figures to come out of the pre-Generations kind of classics era. This guy's amazing still, and he will stick around in my collection as the Armada, because he's just that great. He is worthy of keeping. So before we even go on to Kingdom Cyclonus even more, let's talk about the old one. So yeah, this is the Reveal the Shield, like, Battle in Space pack version that came with Hot Rod. And I love this figure. It's just, it is kind of sentimental because it was also a gift from a family member. So it was like one of the first gifts I ever got from him. So like, aw, that's really sentimental. But yeah, it's just really cool, man. I can't get rid of this. Even if there's no reason for me to get rid of this. I love it. So one thing I absolutely love about this figure is the head sculpt. Even after the Kingdom one, I can still say this is one of my favorite Transformers head sculpts. I love it. Of course, you gotta love the ears, but also the face and the silver paint. It's just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And I love the two tones of purples that they used. It is a deeper purple. I do really kind of enjoy the colors of this purple. I don't know if I prefer it. It's different, and I like it. But it is, you know, it is a different shade of purple than the Kingdom one. You can see not really any kibble. It does have a little bit. It does have these, like, black armaments on the side of his body. He does have some hollow bits in the arms and a little bit in the thighs, but so does a new one. And note how his cockpit is facing up, because on the new one it's facing down. But yeah, his legs they look gorgeous, but they do harm the vehicle mode a little bit. And he looks great. He does have the rub sign, which you can give that a good old rub. Give your sign a good old rub. You can see he's a Decepticon. I love how the color changes, too. Like, isn't that so cool looking? I love it. I wish they'd bring this back for just all the toys. I don't care. I love it. Some people would be like, oh, I gotta buy repro labels and replace all the I've kept this on because I love the gimmick so much. Like, I am down for that. And I love how they kind of homage it just in deco for, like, the Clone 2-packs and all that they've done recently. But yeah, that's like, how he looks. I was about to say it's robot mode, but I haven't even gone over articulation yet. Head's just on a swivel, unfortunately. The arms are a little lackluster because you do have a swivel and you do have an outward hinge, but no bicep swivel. So you can't have any sideways elbow action. So that's really disappointing. One of the biggest issues with this figure. But you do have a forearm swivel. And you do have, this is part of the transformation, but I count it as articulation. He can curl his hand. Yes! That looks so cool. Nothing at the waist. I don't even think the new one has anything at the waist, does he? No, I think he does. What am I doing? He has ball joints at the hips, which is something that modern Transformers kind of stray away from. Then he has thigh swivel. Knee bend's not the greatest. And then pretty much nothing at the feet. Just kind of pinching the feet for transformation. But there's one other thing that we must discuss with this figure. And that is his accessory. Because this guy actually got his Target Master. Come in, little Nightstick. Hello, my name's Nightstick. I'm Cyclonus' Target Master. Yeah, he's Apparently very British. But yeah, cute little guy. I usually display him just standing on the shelf because I think he looks cute. One of the first like Generations Target Masters they ever did. It's kind of a surprise they decided to give Cyclonus a Target Master. They could have just given him his gun and people would have been happy. But no, they really went the extra mile with this. So the Target Master looks good. A little bit of articulation. You can move the legs. You can actually give him a bit of an ab crunch if you want, which is a little unfortunate, but you can do it. And he transforms. You can also give him foot joint if you want. So you can like get him in the best poses of all time ever. Whoa! But yeah, he's a little guy. How to transform him? You bend his elbows. You get the big barrel over his head. Then you flip his feet for whatever reason. Just kind of makes it look nicer, I guess. And then you get, would you call them other barrels? Would they be more barrels? Would they be guns? Would they be scopes? Why would he have two scopes? Anyways. Yeah, there you go. There's his gun mode. Looks really freaking good. Honestly, one of the coolest looking Target Masters Hasbro's ever done. He can hold him, of course, because he can hold him. But he can also do this! He can do like the Japanese thing, where his hand transforms into the Target Master or whatever. And you can actually plug it on like that. They actually engineered that into the toy, and I love it. I think that's just so cool. I love when Transformers have their hand transform into the gun. I think that's just one of the coolest things. And personally, like, if I ever had the choice, Transformers' hand would transform into the gun, because they're Transformers, come on. But yeah, that's really cool. I've talked about this figure long enough, and I still have to go over the Kingdom figure, which is perfect in every way. So let's move on to Kingdom Cyclonus, which is, so far, definitely a contender for one of the best robots of 2021 already. He is gorgeous. Look at him. Look at his colors. Look at him shine. Look at his head. I mean, I love this head sculpt. I don't know if I love it more than the old one, but still, there's no complaints with that head sculpt. I love the darker purples, too. It's definitely more of a contrast with the different purple colors on this guy. You can see the cockpit's facing down on this one. He does have hollow thighs, but besides that, do you see any hollow bits? Do you see anything? Anything in the arms? Anything anywhere? No? Nothing. And he feels so solid. He's a really big Voyager, too. Like, he's not just dwarfing the Deluxe because the Deluxe is small. No, he's just a big Voyager. Definitely by today's standards, too. He's great, man. Yeah, that's how he transforms. But yeah, he comes with his gun, which is his gun. It's cool looking. No nightstick, unfortunately, but come on, you don't need it. I mean, for a Cyclonus, you don't need it, but it's appreciated. It really is. He just looks gorgeous, man. That's clear plastic in the torso. That's clear plastic. Oh my gosh. Was it clear on the old one? No, it was just painted. Just painted, but it's clear on this one. Then look at the metallic knees. Do you have any metallic knees? I don't think so. He's just, man, I got no complaints. He is a mini masterpiece. Like, scale this up, call it a masterpiece, call it a day. He's perfect. Let's go over his articulation because that's, oh my gosh. So his neck is on a hinge just for the sake of posability, pretty much. And then his head is also on a ball joint. So you can get tilt, you can get him looking up, you can get him looking down. That is some of the best head articulation on any Transformer I've ever seen. Like, it's so characterful, too. Like, you can kind of have him looking like, what? Or, ooh, or Galvatron, is this a good idea? Or, whoa, bro! Yeah, you can do a lot with him. Shoulders can do that. They can do that as well. And look at the detail. I love that. I love when they do that. He's got the swivel. He's got the hinge. He's got the swivel. It's really cool. And then also, I was mistaken earlier, but he does have a waist swivel. You can move his legs up. You can move him out. Thigh swivel. I don't even know if this is a complaint because he need it for the transformation. There is a bit of a crevice in his knee, but you do have a double jointed knee. And if you can ignore that, you have a lot of great knee bend. But if you can't ignore that, then you only have a little bit of knee bend. So kind of a personal thing you have to deal with. It's not the end of the world. But you do have ankle rocker, and it can go up and down a little bit. And it can go, look at that. That's the articulation you need right there. That's the joint you need. You need it to lunge. So yeah, this figure's perfect in my opinion. I mean, it's pretty much as close to perfect as a retail figure can get. Like, just tweak this a little bit and boom, you've got your masterpiece Cyclonus. I love this thing. I got Scourge as well. Scourge is very nice, not nearly as perfect as Cyclonus. And if Galvatron is this good, we're in for a treat. Anyways, transform time. Let's transform the old one. He's pretty simple. Not the simplest, but he's pretty simple. He has like a double hinge to get his arms collapsed into his shoulders. That's really cool. It's kind of funny since they do double hinges all the time now, especially for legs. But then you get, I'm trying to remember what part there you go, flip that, turn his head. And then this is kind of cool. He has like a slider for the nose cone. I always liked that. But you do see some of his head in the jet, which is unfortunate because they didn't have the engineering, I guess, yet to figure out, oh, you can flip the head in the torso cavity where there's nothing in there anymore. I don't think you can put, nah, especially with the barrel, you can't. I mean, there is hollow space in there, but you can't have a pilot. Then the legs, man. Ooh, this sucks. This is just not good. So they kind of like split, and they're on like their own crazy hinge system, where they just split and then they just kind of pinch together. But they don't tab. They don't tab, to each other. They don't like really tab into anything. They just kind of sit in that position. And what you're left with is a jet that obviously has like the back of legs on it. And it's not the best looking, but it's far from the worst. And then, okay, what do you do next? What do you do next? Oh, yeah. You take that. Oh, I forgot you have the wing. That's kind of important. I'm doing this way out of order. Oh, no, I've totally ruined it. I've totally messed up the video. No. Yeah, the wing goes in the arm like that. And then that. That does kind of keep the leg together, but it still looks... There's a gap. There is a gap, and that's really unfortunate. So keep that in mind, because it's a problem, but it's not that big of a problem, but still it kind of sucks a little bit. Not too much, just, a little bit. And then, ooh, there we go. It's been a long time since I've transformed him. But there we go. There he is in his jet mode. And it's not perfect because of the legs, but it's still really cool. It does have a clear cockpit. It still looks really nice. It has the wings. It looks good. It's not perfect, but it's still really good looking. It's a nice space jet mode. This is perfection. Let's show it off right now. So the hands, they do the flippy thing. And look, you can actually give them like a freaking Mega Man Buster Rifle if you want. Why did I say Buster Rifle? That's a Gundam thing. Buster Cannon. That's what it is in Mega Man, right? And then his wings. They do pretty much do the same thing. But you also have... Like, they do pretty much do the exact same thing. But you do have the added step of... Whoop! Which is really nice. It definitely gives the wing a more accurate shape in robot mode. And fills it out nicer in jet mode as well. I mean, already looking at the wings... Look at that difference. The wings, even, just wow. They look really good. They're a little hollow from the back, but that's okay. It's a mainline toy. What do you expect? Hell, even for masterpieces nowadays, you see some hollowness in some weird janky areas. So then you take this, and you hinge all that assembly back, and you take his chest and put it forward. Then this is on like a freaking, like those old Power Rangers figures where like the head flips. You do that, and close it back up, and then you open it up even more. Maybe I did that a little too early. Open it up even more, flip it out like that. Then this is kind of a pain, but then you flip it out like that. Then this, there really should have been a thumbnail tab. This is why I keep the thumbnail long, because you got to like really get in there and try to get the tip of the nose cone. This is kind of a pain, I'm not going to lie. I wish there was a shortcut or something, or a way it flipped out on its own already. There we go. Really nice having that thumbnail sometimes. And then close that up. Look at that metallic. Oh my gosh. And then flip this around. No, you don't flip the waist. He actually just has waist articulation for the sake of having waist articulation. I keep forgetting. So yeah, good one. Good one, Hasbro. You rock. And then you can see how the legs, the feet flip in so they don't just stick out, and you actually have proper thrusters. That's awesome. And then you take this whole assembly and you rotate it. So it does actually end up in a similar position as the old one. Good job bumping into the camera. And then you get the legs just kind of collapsed in. They just kind of collapse in. That's why it's hollow there, because the legs just collapse in. A little difficult, not the hardest. You just got to get the hinging right. And then once you get the hinging right, then you're good as gold. But speaking of gold, what do you think of those Gold Lagoon figures they did a little bit ago? They just, I don't know, man. They number one, too expensive. Number two, I just was not convinced. If they did do a sound wave, but they didn't make it out of like a really good mold. I was about to say, if they did a sound wave, I might have bought it. So then, oh my gosh, look at it already. You kind of get those panels kind of in like that. And then you tab in arms to the legs. Then here you are left with a perfect Cyclonus jet. Just look at the difference. Look at the difference. Oh my gosh. This jet is amazing. Look at the length of the nose cone too. Because of how they had that rotate and how they had it flip out instead, it looks way more smooth. It doesn't have a big like slider on it. It is gorgeous. This is an absolutely gorgeous vehicle. It does have, I don't know if these panels are supposed to be like out a little bit, but I kind of don't mind it because it almost looks like little air intakes, even though he's a spaceship. But hey, just let's pretend. But I feel like they should be in more, but like I said, I kind of don't mind them looking out. I don't know, it just looks like cool little detail. I like it. The wings look gorgeous. I mean, look at this. And even the bottom. Look at the bottom. That's still pretty good. Like, that's still pretty good. And you can kind of envision his knees and his stomach. Like, those vents are almost like propulsion things where he can, like, float. I don't know. That's just so cool. I love that. I love when, like, toy design actually makes you sort of pretend about things. But yeah, that just, it looks so much better than that. I mean, this you can kind of see how the robot's just oddly mangled. This one looks like a transformation. This figure I still hold is pretty damn close to perfect. I did call it perfect. Wouldn't say it's like perfect because it is under the restraints of being a $30 retail toy. But still, it's damn near. And you do have landing gear on both, actually. I'm pretty sure on both you do. Yeah, landing gear there. And then the landing gear, even on the old one, just was kind of ugly, especially on the legs. Then the new one, it's hidden really well. So there we go. There's old versus new Cyclonus. Of course, you can get the guns on the top, but that looks goofy. Who cares? Yeah, old versus new Cyclonus. The old one still will always have a place in my collecting heart. I love that figure. It was a gift. It's still a really cool figure. I really do enjoy it. But the new one is so good. Go out and get it. You owe yourself a Kingdom Cyclonus. Just because you've been good today. Because you deserve it. I love the figure. I cannot... It's so good. And I also got Studio Series Hot Rod. That's also amazing. Expect a review like this for Hot Rod and the old Classics mold. I will do that. So yeah, there we go. There's the old Classics Universe RTS Cyclonus compared to Kingdom. Both really good figures, but there's obvious, engineering improvements. And, they've learned things, and that's really good. But the new one's so perfect. Oh my gosh, go get it. Alrighty, guys, I've been rambling long enough. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you in the next video.